Hey everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Project S3. So today I'm going to talk about how much we pay for the car. A lot of you have been asking me this question: how much do I pay for the car? What was the cost, etc.? How much did it cost me to date? Well, today we're going to talk about the cost of the car. I'm not going to talk about the stuff that we put on the car. We'll come on to that at a later date because we haven't finished it, so there's no point going through that now. But we will talk about how much I actually pay for the car and why I paid that much for the car or that little. So we're going to do a bit of a comparison. So I'm going to show you the invoice that I got for the car so you can see it in black and white, and then we're going to take a look at how much relative cars have gone in Copart over the last few months. But some good news, we have got some parts for the car that have come in. Let me show you what they are. So there we have it. So we've got both airbags have arrived finally. It's taken a while, and we've also got the air conditioning pipe. That's the last pipe that I had, so that bit at the end there on my original one was broken off. That's the reason why we've had to buy this pipe. And like many things in the Volkswagen Audi range, this one has actually come from a Golf GTI. It's the same part, they're interchangeable. So we'll be fitting that over the weekend, and you'll see that process on Monday, and that should complete that piece of the car. But even though we've got those bits in, we've still got a number of things that are outstanding and are really slow to deliver. So hopefully we'll get some more in next week, and then we'll be able to show you another video. Right, anyway, let's get down to the crux of the matter. Let's take a look on the screen now. We're going to show you the cost of my car. Okay, so on the screen now you can see my invoice for my car. I'm not going to hold anything back for you. So you can see that it is the purchase price here for £11,298. So that's what I paid out the door from ASM. So I bought this car from ASM because ASM, typically cars go cheaper there because you don't have the same frenzy as what you have with Copart auctions. Copart auctions, you normally have a whole lot of people sitting in their lane watching the auctions, and they get caught up in the moment, and cars tend to go more expensive here. Whereas in ASM, the auctions tend to be more like eBay, so people are bidding offline and the price goes up a lot slower, and they have less volume and less people, plus they have weekend auctions. And that's what really helped me, because if you notice here, this auction was on Saturday at 11:47, so not a lot of people were watching this. So the final hammer price on this car was for £10,620, which is cheap. And the reason why I say that's cheap is because if you look at the category, it was a category R, which means it's unrecorded. Here you go. Accident damage, not recorded, finance repossession. And what that means is that this car has never gone through the insurance market. So if you do a HPI on this car, and I'm sure some of you will, because I know you guys like to know, you'll see that this car has a clean record. It doesn't have any categorization on there. So when you think about that, that means this car went through really cheap at £10,620. Now ASM's auction fees are a lot cheaper than eBay, so the fee cost me £510 due to the value, and then the admin fee was about £55 and £11, and it cost me about £200 to get the car delivered. So all in, auction fees alone, the car has cost me £2, literally £2 under 11.5 grand. So obviously we spent a bit on parts, etc., and we will go through that in another video. But I thought I would show you how much I paid for this car through the ASM network and how cheap it was. Now, I want to show you now on eBay, not eBay, but Copart, what a typical S3 2016. So this is a late 2016. In fact, this car was registered on December the 30th, 2016. So December the 30th, literally one day but the last day of the month, this car was registered. So it's actually a 2017 car. That's how Audi see it, because it's the facelift A3, the first of the facelifts cars. Let's take a look now on Copart or Auto or Auction.io to see how much cars like this S3s are going for. Okay, so we're going to take a look at this first car here. So this first S3 is a 2016 S3. Now it is the facelift edition. You can tell by the headlights here and the way that they have that little jetted out bit. That's always a sign, as you probably know. Now this car sold for 10,700. Now the difference between, so that's £100 more than my car, so the fees would have been slightly higher because it's from Copart. But more importantly, look at this car, it's a category N. Now this car is slightly older than my car, and I can show you. If we go on to Auto Trader, you will see that this car was registered in August the 23rd of 2016. And if I also go to take a look, we can see that this car is definitely registered as a Cat N and has had 3 previous owners. So when we look at the damage on this car, it's obviously a lot less than mine. It's just the wheel here, that's what's gone here. You can see that the wheel is missing. There are some, there's no other damage on this car. It's pretty straightforward because mine's all the airbags are gone, etc, etc. And it just needed a new front bumper. You may even get away with repairing that bumper and then putting the wheel back on, and then you've got yourself a sorted car. But the main difference between, and yeah, that's the other thing, this car here has got a damaged oil pan. So underneath the car is a plastic oil pan. Here it is clearly damaged. So whoever bought this car, and you can see that it's a non-runner here, you never know, the engine here could have been seized by that, because that kind of damage, you can obviously tell you the kind of impact that it's had, that it's ripped the wheel off. That kind of damage is going to potentially cause some mechanical damage on the inside. So, but 10,600 or 10,700 is not a bad price for this, as long as the engine starts. But you'll be taking a risk on this one. So yeah, so that's this car. Okay, so let's take a look at the next S3 that was on Copart. This one is a metallic blue. It's quite a nice one as well. So let's take a look at the screen. Okay, so the one that you're looking at now is a blue 2017 Audi S3. Now, the reason why I went for the facelift one is because the facelift one has the 310 brake horsepower engine, which is key. So the previous model was, I think, 296, something like that, under 300 brake horsepower. That 10 brake horsepower does make a difference, particularly when you come to tune it, and we've got some things coming up on my car coming up. Alright, so looking at the damage on this car, you can see that it's had a bit of a whack on the front. You can see that the steering is gone, because if you look at this picture here, the wheel is straight. Look at this picture here, and the wheel is at an angle, so you're gonna have to change the steering rack potentially. Bonnet is gone, the front bonnet bumper has gone as well. Headlight, that headlight is gone, so that will need to be replaced. That wing looks okay, so it's not bad there. Just looking around the side of the car as well, all the sides of the car are looking fine. Crucially, no airbags have gone in the car. That's quite important. That's going to save a whole lot of work and cost as well. But clearly most of the front, like mine, will need to be replaced, with the exception of the engine as well. So how much did this car go for? Well, this car sold for £11,900. So not a bad price, but this is a category S. So when that person who buys this car comes to sell it, then they're obviously going to be selling it at a much reduced cost. And that's the key thing here, the cost of the car. Even though when I do sell my car, I will tell the person that it's damaged, because my conscience wouldn't allow me to sell it as a clean car, even though it has no title. But it's going to obviously fetch more money than a car that hasn't had a damage. So there you go. There's another evidence. Let's take a look at one more car. Okay, so let's take a look at the final car. So the final car is identical to mine. It's a 2017 S3. This is the black edition one, mind you. Mine is not a black edition. This one is. You can tell by the black grille and also the trim at the side. So if you look at the side of the car, you can see that it's all blacked out. That's the main difference between the black edition and the standard one here. So this car is a non-runner, like my one was. It's a category S though. That's the main big thing. Now, when was this car registered? So if you look on Auto Trader, you can see that this car was first registered in October. So it's 10 months younger than my car. And if I look on Auto Trader as well, I can see that it's clearly a Cat S. So that puts it at a disadvantage when it comes to being sold, because it's obviously going to go for a lot less money. So looking at this car, let's take a look at the damage now. So similar damage to mine. Bumper, the bonnet, front bumper's gone, that'll need to be replaced. Headlights, so that one might get away with it, not quite sure. I would try and save that if I could, but looking at that here, it looks like the wing has gone through the headlight here, so that will definitely need to be replaced. Back is fine, although it's got a bit of tape here, so it could be that the window was open and when the car cut off they couldn't shut it, who knows. And then the airbags have gone off as well. So if you're looking here, telltale signs, you can see the curtain airbag has gone off on this side and it's clearly gone off on this side as well. So the airbag deployment exactly the same as mine, which tells me that it's had a pretty much the same kind of damage as what my car has had. There's more airbag damage there at the back of the car. So they would probably go through the same issues that I had. Hopefully they won't have the same issue where my engine mounts had been damaged, that it was beyond economical repair of the engine. But looking at here, you can see how hard the hit is, because I can see that the actual crash bar at the front looks like it has been deformed. Now mine wasn't, mine was okay, so I didn't have to do anything on my legs, but this one here looks like it has been done. So I would imagine that, and you can see here that the wing has been pushed back again. That might not be anything telling, might not, but it's also a sign that the leg has potentially been damaged. So if they're very fortunate, that will be the only damage on the vehicle. If they're not, then they're potentially looking at a replacement engine. Now I was pretty fortunate with my engine, because as you'll find out when we finish the car, my engine was relatively cheap, and in fact since buying that engine I've been able to recoup some of my costs by selling the parts of my old engine, the damaged engine. So that's managed to recoup me something like £800 in all the bits that I've been able to sell so far. So so the engine was literally a fraction of the cost, but again we'll go on to that when we finish the project. So a little bit of a change video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and hope you can see the reasons why I bought my S3 and not just a categorized one. I did want a unrecorded car because I was using my the money from my A4 to purchase it, and although I plan to keep this car for a good couple of years, maybe 3, I want to be able to at least recoup some costs when I sell it and not have it detrimentally impacted by the fact that it had a categorized car. So like I said, we've got some bits that we need to put on the car. You'll see that on Monday's edition. We are almost coming to the end, but of course with the coronavirus, that's going to prolong this. So we'll try and make sure that we bring you videos as regularly as we can, so that you can be entertained, and also that you can, you know, we don't have lull periods of time where nothing's happening. Right, don't forget to subscribe down here and click that thumb notification, and that really helps. Give us a thumbs up on the channel because that helps spread the word. Also share this video if you can. So share it in other platforms, because again, that really helps when you share it in other platforms. So whether that be Instagram, we do have an Instagram account. I admit I don't do much with it, but I'm going to start putting more pictures up and sneaker peeks on Instagram. So share on Instagram, share on Facebook as well. I've actually got a Facebook channel as well, and I try to upload videos on there. So if you're on the any of the Audi forums on Facebook, then share with that as well. So anyway, enjoy the rest of your week, guys, and we will see you on Monday.